Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2018 NA Academy League. Our last game of the day is coming up, and it's a rematch from last week between OpTic Gaming and Golden Guardians. Last week, it was OpTic who came away with the win, and after claiming victory yesterday against TSM Academy, they're coming into this game hoping to make it a streak.
Yeah, and Dhokla and Palafox are the players to watch on the OpTic squad. They have been the two carries putting up the most consistent performances on the team thus far, and were catalysts for their most recent victories.
And last week, you and Flowers mentioned that this matchup is a great opportunity for players to showcase their skills. With their LCS teams at the bottom of the standings, they could be likely candidates to play up.
Yeah, you would expect the teams at the bottom of the standings are the ones who are looking to secure more wins by any means, and there's lots of good talent here in the Academy League for them to be scouting out for, and then these two teams are at the bottom of the Academy standings as well, but that means that the players are given a good shot to show up against a weaker opponent and highlighting what they might have to offer should an LCS team be interested.
Well, we'll jump into the starting lineups. On the blue side, it's Golden Guardians Academy. In the top side, it is Jenkins, their jungler Potluck, mid laner bobqin, bot Jurassiq, and their support Xpecial.
And over on the red side, it's OpTic Gaming. In the top lane, Dhokla getting some attention with his GP last time. Kadir in the jungle, mid lane Palafox, Andy in the bot lane, supported by Winter.
And you mentioned Dhokla at Palafox also had quite the rise game yesterday. Was probably the biggest contributor into winning versus TSM, as BlazeOlive just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, BlazeOlive, like we said, seems to be struggling a little bit with the consistency for himself there, and that was a game where Palafox just took it to him a little bit, and he does that sometimes. I don't think he's super consistent himself, but when he gets like the matchup that he feels comfortable in, especially into Azir, it seems like his Syndra games go well, his Rise game has gone well, so he's starting to become a little bit of a force here in Academy.
Well, we'll see what happens in the draft, as Sejuani is actually the first ban, so all of a sudden, huge change in the landscape of this draft.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I assume OpTic would answer with a Skarner, but then you're starting to force yourself pretty far down the jungler list. And there you go. We'll have to see how far down the rabbit hole we go.
I mean, Kha'Zix is kind of the other obvious jungler that jumps up, but after that, really not a whole lot left. So someone is getting something that we don't see as often. Maybe Jax is an option, we'll have to see, but Ryze is going to be the ban. Looks like Golden Guardians watched the game yesterday.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. Palafox keeps performing on these, like, champions. He had a great FLICKR game as well. I mean, at what point do you just kind of let him have his pick? We'll have to see as OpTic goes with the Galleon.
I'm ready for Veigar once more, but we'll have to see. Golden Guardians, though, what to think about here? Zoe, I guess the obvious one, banned away. bobqin saying, I don't want it. I don't want you to have it, most certainly. So he's going to get taken off.
We'll have to see what happens to the GP. Like we said, Dhokla had a great game last time these two played. Jenkins tried to play the counter pick into it. I think it was Gnar, and just got absolutely blasted. The game still went for a pretty long time as Palafox and Andy were losing to the bot side of the map, but once the game scaled late enough, Dhokla was able to take that over. And
the last ban is Curious. Varus, actually the last one here. So talked about Kha'Zix, we talked about Gangplank, probably the most obvious one maybe left open here. They don't want to give it to Dhokla, so they kind of have to take it.
An interesting game that OpTic was playing there with the Varus ban preemptively, excuse me. It does open up Ezreal pick as something that is very high priority for a lot of teams, and you've just taken out one of its best counters while also leaving the GP up. So you kind of put pressure on Golden Guardians to pick between those two champions. And Dhokla is primarily a carry player, so you know he is ready to play into that GP. We've seen Aurelia's out of him. We'll see a lot of crazy stuff. Looks like they're willing to wait on the top lane pick and instead grabbing what might be a very strong core of Azir Ezreal here.
Yep, I like the start here. Palafox is actually going to play the Azir himself this time around after beating it up yesterday, but I think Ezreal makes a lot of sense. And looks like that's going to be the pick.
Yeah, and I actually like how this draft has started a lot for OpTic Academy. The Ryze was banned out, and so the other premier pick with Zoe gone is the Azir. They get that. They preemptively ban out the Varus counter into Ezreal. They also walk away with the Ezreal here, so things have started off really well for them in the draft. Golden Guardians, though, do have that kind of ultimate trump card of GP late game.
Well, we'll see if they play it here. They did take it first. Looks like bobqin selects Taliyah as his mid laner of choice.
Yeah, I like that just because you can assume a top lane counter pick is going to come in, and then Taliyah can use her extra map mobility to try and influence the top lane from getting snowballed on.
And what's the last pick here in phase 1 for Golden Guardians? 10 seconds now to decide. It is going to be a jungler. We mentioned the pool got pinched. So Zach getting lined up here and now locked in.
Yeah, basically the best tank option left available. No surprise to see Zach grabbed Camille. looking like the hover so that does not get banned out. Will probably lead to some more jungle pinch coming in though, so OpTic better be ready for the Jax ban to come in like you were suggesting, maybe the Kha'Zix ban, and then you are with very few options left.
Unless it's all a ruse and it's a flex pick. You never, ever know.
That is true. We have seen some Camille jungle.
Well, I mean, it's a good pick here. I think Dhokla comfortable on it. Like you said, pretty much only plays carry, so we'll have a carry there in that 1v1. Gangplank, of course, can just kind of weather anything, and he will always be relevant once he gets his gold, but let's see if Dhokla can keep him down, as Tristana is the ban. Taking away, again, 80 carries now that they've had Varus banned already, and then banned Varus himself, sorry, and taken Ezreal.
Yeah, so not too much there for Golden Guardians to do about these 80 carry pinches that are going to come in. We'll see if they do go for that jungle like we said, or maybe they start focusing supports as well. Both teams still have to select that one, but maybe there's a couple things you think pair better with OpTic's comp. Maybe a Braum, because it's just too much disengage to deal with.
Well, there's Jax, so at least one jungler that I think we suspected is going to get taken out here. But OpTic, where did they go with this other one? We've seen Xayah banned already today, and Zyrakan played, so that is an option. You tend to not be able to get those things on in this part of the draft.
Yeah, as red side, given that you have to go 1, they go 2, then you go again. It's very hard to get both. So like you said, with that Xayah ban, good call out, just because with that engage already available with Zac, you don't want Xayah, Rakan, Zac as this monster engage combination. So no surprise to see OpTic break that up on that side, get rid of that pairing, and kind of pinch the pool of the supports.
I like what you said earlier, exactly. When you ban out Xayah in this spot, you just blow up the whole lane, basically. So Jarvan is another jungle ban. Kha'Zix kind of sticking out. Maybe Kadir doesn't feel like it. We'll see exactly what OpTic have in mind here.
Yeah.
What are they saving counter pick for as the other one?
Yeah, that's the question. I mean, do you need to show your support? Oh, I don't think that's going to be a jungle.
I don't think so either.
Or jungle Ezreal. I'm not sure which one's better in the jungle right now, but yeah. Braum, no surprise. But like you're saying, I like the Jarvan ban in the context where he's tankier than the Kha'Zix. And if you're looking at OpTic's comp right now, if they do end up taking the Kha'Zix, they're going to have one tank, and it's only in the support position, which could make it pretty difficult to team fight with later in the game. Despite having great scaling in Azir, Ezreal, if there's nothing in front of them, it's actually pretty hard.
Yeah, makes sense. So Caitlyn now actually the lock-in's in it once today already versus Xayah. And a similar beat-up potential on a short-range carry like Ezreal. And maybe Morgana here for Xpecial. His Braum was taken away, and Alistar instead.
Yeah, the Alistar does make sense. It's pretty good, just generally into OpTic's comp. I did like the idea of the Morgana just going a straight punish their bot lane. We saw people do this. If you're going to lose the top side potentially, which should probably happen with the Camille into Gangplank matchup, and you have the Taliyah to affect side lanes, I would have liked to have seen them go for a hard smashing side lane, which could have happened with Morgana, but instead we got the Alistar.
Oh, baby! It's locked in. Zhao is actually going to be our last pick here, presumably in the jungle for Kadir.
It's something that's been terrorizing solo queue a fair amount recently. Has not really made its way into competitive as far as I'm aware.
No, it's usually one of our themes of today is when in doubt, pick the solo queue Stompy jungler. I had Warwick already for CLG Academy, and now Zhao to round out today. Certainly much more of a fighter. You mentioned tanks. Has some innate tankiness in the ultimate. Can build tanky if he feels like it, but it's not the same as a Zac. So some of those frontline problems may still persist here.
Yeah, absolutely a concern. Does have some interesting interactions with his ultimate. Haven't seen it in competitive too much, but with Zac jumping in, maybe you can knock him out. Or leave him alone by himself once you get pulled in. We'll have to see how it works, because things can get wonky, as we saw last game with the Lee Sin.
Yeah, have not seen it in competitive, like you mentioned, but in my experience playing against it, it is the most frustrating thing. I think the first time I played against Zhao after the ult change, I was playing Vega, I ulted him, and I was like, dang it.
Yeah.
It was the worst feeling ever. So not a fan of that one, but we'll see what happens here in this game. Our final game of the night, going to be a little bit spicy. OpTic Gaming mixing up their draft, and 5-man straight down the bot lane.
Yeah, mixing up the draft, mixing up the level 1. They have Braum Ezreal. It's pretty terrifying. Sometimes Camille takes E. It's not the worst matchup for her to take E in early on if you're going to get a first blood off of it. So
Jurassiq, yep, going to spot them. Good little bit of scouting. Ward goes down, though.
15 gold, give me that.
First CS to Ezreal, lane's over.
GG, dude.
Pull it off. All right.
Pack it up.
Now back around. Who are they going to find this time?
Drop another ward. I dare you, Xpecial.
I think he knows better.
And on the top side, of course, during this, Golden Guardians are doing the mirrored invade, walking in and get a ward on the enemy red buff. Just trying to get vision on that Zac. I'm a little surprised that they are willing to trade vision Zac versus Xin Zhao early on, because you would think that Xin Zhao first 3 level ganks would be stronger than the Zax. But either way, both teams probably going to be aware of where the enemy is starting.
Xpecial also just hanging out. I don't know what he suspects. They do have a ward there, but I guess just playing in a spot that's not too unsafe for him. And looks like Caitlyn going to get to lane early as OpTic do leash here for Kadir.
Yeah, I guess what they're trying to do is making sure that they will spot out Kadir if he goes for some kind of really aggressive invade. I mean, Xin Zhao does have good dueling, so you could expect maybe he's trying to contest the enemy red buff. And Xpecial also wants to make sure that they don't get into any vertical jungling, because then the Caitlyn cannot pressure as hard as she wants to level 1. So you actually want kind of regular jungling patterns for the Caitlyn lane early on.
You can see Jurassiq playing up. Does get tagged by Winter and his Q. But again, we've seen a lot of Ezreal today. So we'll continue to see a lot of Ezreal tomorrow too. But it's nice to see players mixing it up a little bit more and trying to punish these lanes that are just kind of sitting there and farming it out.
Yeah, and as much as I like that idea, if it just is going to resort to Caitlyn's the new best AD carry, I'll be pretty sad about that one, because it was not so long ago that Caitlyn was the premier pick in the meta.
Well, Dhokla and Jenkins, pretty aggressive early trading. Dhokla winning out early on. Kind of expected on Camille, but is the Relic Shield start here for Jenkins, so is just trying to survive as long as possible and print money wherever he can.
That is the name of the game for the GP. And we see some early invade by Palafox, shoving Potluck off his own camps.
Ooh, misses the E, but doesn't get the creep either.
But does force him away from his red, so Kadir going 3 buff into the red. A little bit of a inefficient path, but it's going to work out because of the greedy path by Potluck, who had decided to full clear his topside jungle, tossing in his red buff.
Yep, in back-to-back red buff steals today. It will continue as Kadir and Winter able to pick that up, helping each other out. Lost Cone away, and Potluck's onto the Krugs.
Yeah, and I can understand why Potluck might have been scared to run over to his enemy, to his own red buff right away, because OpTic had put some wards down there. But Golden Guardians had put their wards down as well, and the safer play ended up costing him a little bit, just saying, all right, well, I'll get 3, and then maybe I can go up, but not the case.
Dhokla jumps out again onto Jenkins, hiding in the brush. Hookshot is great, and the follow-up damage lands everything to chunk out the GP, but first EP still ready here for Gangplank, so can kind of use it whenever he feels he really needs to.
And he doesn't need to be too nervous about any Kadir pressure, because they had just seen him in the bot lane. They know that he'll have time to farm up a little bit, but probably doesn't want to stick around too much longer, because as you see, Kadir now is on the top side of the map.
Palafox running low on mana here. Bobqin about to get a bunch back off mana fully banned. Does grab it. Winter also tags on Jurassiq, finds Xpecial. Everyone's getting stunned up today. Jurassiq though, oh, it does drop. You can see Andy trying to reset it. Now Xpecial feels like, right, I can go back in. Pulverize one, headbutt, there's the trample stun, and Winter forcing the heal there. The stun lands back into Xpecial though, who also got ignited. Very close bot lane duel.
Yeah, both supports getting taken down very low. Lots of summoners burned as well. Slight advantage to Golden Guardians in the summoner trade, both still having flash, Winter losing his. But a big HP disparity now for the Golden Guardians Academy bot lane, which is not good for a Caitlyn lane. She wants these kind of long extended laning phases until she can grab her BF sword, then come back and keep pressuring really aggressively. This is good for Ezreal to be able to force this back off, get his tier, and come back against only a pickaxe when it can be much, much worse.
Yep, you can see that now. All for Andy. Let's grab his consumables after the tier as well. Jurassiq thinking about staying extra. I think they've realized they've gone, so they're going to try and maximize their time with this wave. Dhokla TP's back now with a Sheen. Looks like Jenkins already done the same. Looking a little ineffective with those crystals just hanging out. Dhokla kind of smelling blood. He's going to go in and get aggressive. Almost 6 as well. Camille might line up something here with the jungle.
Yeah, maybe Kadir can make his way up there. Dhokla doing good in the 1v1. The fact that he had enough of a CS advantage to make sure he couldn't get that Sheen, which is a huge item spike for Jenkins, especially when you're starting with that Relic Shield. You just want to Q spam the enemy, but you see how bad these trades are for Dhokla right now. Or excuse me, for Jenkins.
Shuffle by Palafox onto Bobqin. Rest of the team's kind of here, but Winter not able to get the tag on. So resources expanded, Xpecial here to defend, stuns Winter with the auto. And now the stun's going to come back in. Braum's tagged a lot, but a good slap together there by Potluck. Kadir has to get out of there. Winter follows him over the wall.
Not great for Kadir, though. Losing your flash as a Zhao is less than ideal because he has no way out. And that was his 1 5-minute escape card.
Oh, Winter not going to get caught up again. Potluck slowing him down, but not able to really get any more CC.
Yeah, Ezreal was on the move first, so I guess they did not want to risk getting collapsed there. It did look like they could potentially threaten the kill, but I understand wanting to play it a little safer, all things considered. And Caitlyn actually did manage to get her the escort on that back. Their decision to stay a little bit later really paying off for her there.
Yep, and you can see now, I think the lane should be turning back a little bit more. Already expect Caitlyn to have a bit of an advantage as Dhokla barely misses that hook shot. Does have his ulti, but I think trying to wait. Orange is there for Jenkins, and a stopwatch means that have to be a little careful when trying to go for an all-in, but building up a 20 CS lead as Jenkins will be forced back without his TP.
Yeah, huge plays out of Dhokla already, and I'd like to see a little bit more coordination with the jungler. Kadir can potentially get up there one time, but I mean, thus far it's working out great for Camille. bobqin now level 6, so he might be able to start influencing that matchup if Dhokla keep playing it that aggressively, but as long as Amy does a good job tracking it, might not work out.
Also 6 as he takes down these Raptor Camp. Again, just moving through his jungle. Palafox, some vision down, gonna go over the wall. Gonna face check the Taliyah. bobqin has kind of been pressured early, but managed to survive any potential gank. And looks like blue buff just gonna get transferred over. The game is kind of resetting. Whoa. A bit more of a point. Blue buff still not gonna come in, but I like the attempt. Potluck though will get spotted out.
Was that late? I was with the Ezreal timing.
Oh,
not the actual in-game timing.
I think you got it.
Yeah.
As Dhokla hiding in the fog of war. Has Kadir behind him moving up towards the lane on the Krugs.
Yeah, just kind of respecting the fact that the blue buff scout out just happened. Nice reserve play until they're pretty sure that Zhao has moved away, and there you go. There's that trade.
Dhokla actually, I think, really knowing his damage ranges, because I think to the untrained eye, which is me, it does look like a lot of these can result in some sort of kill, but Dhokla is being conservative with his ultimate. Wants to make sure if he's going to get a kill, it will be an absolute kill. And Kadir may be enough to tip the scales, but already channeling that recall. We'll see if he sticks around.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing them try and look for something here. There they go.
Yeah, back into the brush. Here's Kadir, ultimate down. Jenkins already taking a little too much. It should be first blood, and it is. Over to the Zhao.
Yeah, so easy, especially once the wave is pushed up. Good to see Kadir finally link up with Dhokla for a kill. Goes on to Zhao, which is fine. They have to worry about the mirror play, though.
Taliyah walk here. 2v4 down the bot side. Good by Andy. As Winter trying to run his way out of there. Does not have his flash for a little while longer. That's unfortunate. As the stasis from Xpecial should protect him from a counter kill. Winter looking for it, but the headbutt's going to deny it. And kill over to bobqin's Taliyah.
And there we go, the mirror play on the bot side. That's why you like seeing that Caitlyn counter pick with the Taliyah, able to punish any topside aggression that comes in. Palafox was not able to roam and match that. And a nice answer back by Golden Guardians Academy, but they're still playing from the deficit. We'll take a look at the top side first. Just so easy against the GP. Sure, he has flash up, but he's so far up the lane. The enemy team has a lot of resources to hunt him down. Just goes down right away, and then here we go. Palafox zoned off by the Taliyah, and then the ult just comes in. You gotta really look at that bot lane and ask, why not back out? You know that they were in the river. You know that you don't have your jungler to support you. And they just end up going down trying to defend their territory.
Flash Q as well from Potluck. Good situational awareness to see that control ward. bobqin does claim the kill. OpTic extending their topside advantage, though. We'll take the Rift Herald, gifted over to Kadir. And they also traded turrets, but the bonus gold went to OpTic in the top lane. So Dhokla's going to be pretty accelerated in a matchup that he was already winning.
Yeah, see if he can buy that Triforce right away. Hasn't bought anything yet. Sitting on some golden base. Wouldn't be surprised if he can buy it outright, given the assist, turret gold, and the nice farm.
I mean, if he's chilling out, you feel like that has to be what's happening. And good call, Mark. Eternity Force done at under 11 minutes.
That is a big Camille. And it's going to be on him to really kind of carry this game. His bot lane is losing, but much better off than the enemy GP, at least in terms of farm. So the Ezreal a little bit behind pace where he wants to be. Mid lane does have the CS advantage, doing a good job punishing bobqin's roams. But overall, it's a nice 1,000 gold advantage for OpTic.
Yep, and again, the lion's share of that is in Dhokla's hands. Jenkins up there right now, but he's going to have a tough time getting work done as, yeah, 800 gold up for Dhokla. So basically owning that whole lead, more or less. Turret and bot also still up. It looks like the trade that I thought happened did not happen.
Yeah, I thought
after that dive. I really thought it went down.
I think they spent a little bit too much time potentially over chasing Winter for that final kill. Didn't want to be on the map too long and get punished with some tempo problems. So, yeah, I guess that dive not nearly as bad as it could have been.
It's the worst kind of League of Legends problems, by the way, tempo problems.
They're just one of these like nebulous things where you're like, what's happening? We're down farm all of a sudden, and they have a couple more turrets than us. So it's a little bit hard to identify when you're in game exactly what's going on, but mostly about recall timings and minion waves.
Certainly is, and so far so good. Dhokla again misses that stun, but harassing with the Comet after that W lands. Landed the good half as well, all the way on the back end, and don't feel like this needs to stop for a pretty long time.
And there Dhokla goes, getting himself a little bit of topside vision.
And Potluck's like, nope. Clearing that out instantly as Kadir has popped the Herald here in mid. Turret pretty low. Shelly's going to need some assistance.
Have to see how aggressive they want to go for this. There does need some help, like you said.
Oh, great ruse from Potluck. Jumps in, but he misses that Q. Damage poking in. Palafox is like, I really, really want to hit the turret, but Shelly's doing what she can. Doesn't quite get it.
A good job at Palafox not getting too greedy there. You'll probably get that turret pretty quickly on your own, or should bobqin go for another roam, you will definitely get it. And instead, OpTic rotate up to the top side and start working down this blue buff.
Yep, I mean, again, all that pressure here, Palafox, like you said, should have enough with Kadir and Dhokla to be able to knock down the turret. In fact, doesn't even need it, just needs his handy-dandy cannon minions, and that's enough to knock it down.
Game is starting to slip away from the Golden Guardians, up to 2K now. And it's not going to get too much easier now that there's so much room in that top lane for the Camille to work down this GP. You see the wave pushing away. He might get zoned off for a while, or might get solo killed. We'll have to see.
Again, talking about tempo, have to be careful around those waves, but just as a reminder, the EU broadcast is up next as Academy finishes, so stay tuned for the rebroadcast immediately following Academy on this very channel. It's on a rewatch of your favorite moments from today's EU LCS, or more likely you were asleep and still awake and need some late night league action. That is your destination.
I would be amazed if someone was awake, watched the EU broadcast, all of it live, then watched Academy and was like, you know what, I could use some more.
I really like today's EU. I gotta watch it again.
It's like, what have you?
That's the truly dedicated
How long
fan.
have you been awake?
Too long in that instance, as Jenkins also has a Trinity Force of his own. It's not as good as Camille's Trinity Force. I know that's a weird thing to say, but Dhokla just in such a commanding position. Yes, the items do the same thing, but Dhokla, I think, with more of an advantage, and that will compound as he goes back and spends some of that gold he's built up as well.
Yeah, and this time he's freezing the wave, something we don't see
That's
too often.
Jerk move.
In the current meta, you don't see too much freezing, but GP versus Camille, like GP's roam's not going to do very much. You want to force him into this uncomfortable laning situation. Camille goes back and picks up her Tiamat, and now you're just going to try and kill the GP if he shows up here. And GP doesn't have too many other options. This is not a Maokai that you're freezing on or something where he's going to push mid.
Yep, you can see Wave just pushing away. Freeze is going to stop soon because Dhokla's Tiamat's going to make sure that it breaks slowly but surely. But again, just trying to deny as much as he can. Already watched minions in front of him die. He watched a cannon minion perish without parlaying it.
It feels
Gangplank's worst nightmare. It does feel bad, man. And Dhokla up 40 CS, playing the matchup well with the advantage he's carved out, but bottom line is good news currently for Golden Guardians Academy. Jurassiq and Xpecial are almost there on the bottom outer turret.
I mean, there's so much vision control down this bot side for Golden Guardians Academy. They feel completely safe free pushing down there. And finally, Kadir and Palafox are getting out of the mid lane trying to help that situation. But it's a little late as the turret has been whittled pretty far down. Kadir decides, I'll start a dragon off. It's 15 minutes in the game.
Yep.
Why not?
They're distracted. Take the Cloud Drake. Kadir is going to get it going. Dhokla can TP in. As this one goes down, Palafox relinquishes some of his additional pressure there in the lane. But again, with Kadir down here, OpTic bottom lane feels like they can play up a little bit more perhaps. And that's going to be a Cloud Drake just gifted over the OpTic Academy.
Not something really worth fighting over at this point in the game for Golden Guardians Academy. As well as Palafox showing a lot of control over that mid lane, went over and stole one of the large raptors away. And the gold lead up to 2,500 now, slowly increasing, but you want to see OpTic find a way to get a play down this bot lane turret potentially. I mean, they're okay to farm out. They scale pretty well, all things considered. You know, it's hard to say how the late game would go just because the front line of OpTic is so weak in some ways. I'm not exactly sure how strong Zhao will be since he's not very far ahead of the game and has that warrior enchantment.
Also haven't seen him that often, so certainly a curious one, but turret does go down. Golden Guardian's persistence will pay off. And Jenkins going to go back, and Dhokla's just freezing as hard as he can with a teammate. I said it was a jerk move. It's like a doubly jerk move now. He's not even going to hit the creeps.
Yeah.
They push when he does that.
He'll
have to.
He will take the farm and eventually push in. And it would be nice to see Palafox with that mid priority it feels like he has. Maybe look to the top side. I want to see OpTic work a little bit more with their jungle mid to secure some of their advantages because they have 2 winning lanes at this point. You should be able to force action given that fact.
Well, I wonder if it was the swap that was called because Dhokla immediately switched gears and starts unfreezing that wave and shoving it towards Jurassiq, who is swapping up here with a static shiv. So Gangplank now finally with a bit of extra space thanks to his bot lane taking that turret as a safe place to farm. Feels good, man.
Oh boy, we're getting into the you go there, I go there situation. The bot lane's heading up to the top side.
This is the Gangplank is the losing the matchup classic, where you get out of the lane, your bot lane starts to win for you, and you just pick up all that gold. And Dhokla's like, I don't think so, buddy. I'm back down here.
Yeah, but it happened with a pretty good timing, all things considered. Jenkins was able to grab a couple waves down there, as well as the fact that Jurassiq caught the wave that Camille was just pushing in. They didn't lose any minions to turret as far as I'm aware, so it is an even trade situation, but that's great given Golden Guardians are so far behind as well.
All right, well, second time's the chump. Randy steals the blue buff this time with the True Shot Barrage, and that has apparently made the Golden Guardians angry. Everyone but Gangplank is coming up here.
Oh, he missed it.
Winter already caught the bounce. He's going to miss, but here comes Taliyah riding it onto the wall. Winter with the ult, but it's not enough to save him. And he's going to watch his support die in front of him.
Yep, Kadir and Palafox in the mid lane are just going to try and push that one up and potentially trade turrets here. It's great that they are already in a position to do this, but the GP ult is going to negate any push. It's hard to trade versus GP.
Yep. Palafox's Banshee's Veil did prevent some damage, but not the minion wave from going down.
Yeah, and this is why I was saying I want to see them try and do something a little bit more with this mid lane priority that they have. They will be able to grab this turret as Taliyah was focused on trading with Palafox instead of clearing the wave. It's one of those situations where I would have much rather have seen that WE combo focus on the wave coming in than the enemy mid laner.
Have to agree, but does not. Turret falls down as a result. OpTic still up ahead in structures 4-2. Dhokla though taking some harass. Again, GP battles do hurt. Despite the lead that Dhokla has built for himself, he does need to go back, spend that money, upgrade to what I can only assume is Ravenous Hydra at this point, with that Vampiric Scepter hanging out. And I think finally convert more of that pressure. Whether it's him that needs to capitalize and find the flashing solo kill, or just his team that needs to pick it up. OpTic, given their lead, have slowed this game down a little too much.
Yeah, it's definitely the case where they could be doing more. Like I said, when you have that much control in the mid lane, you saw that bobqin had to sack basically a mid lane turret to be able to do something. If you have that level of control and a winning side lane somewhere, and your other side lane doesn't lose that hard, you got to find a play to force. And they played reactively. They still traded up, which is good, but it's a little concerning that they're not able to find their own looks.
Well, Golden Guardians Academy just holding on as best they can. They know, again, Gangplank at least will scale up nicely as the game goes on. We feel the Drake to fight for in a minute 40. Mountain Drake will be on the menu second after OpTic picked up cloud number 1. I would go make some popcorn. I'm sitting at home because this is probably going to be a slow one. Maybe make something that takes longer.
Depends.
Slow cook something. Make a risotto.
Depends how hungry OpTic is. Maybe they want to make something. They're
all right.
Fair enough.
Never mind. Put the popcorn down. It's time to go back onto the Baron.
Kadir is not very tanky, so...
Can't ult the Baron either, so that one's not going to work. Actually, that wouldn't work, even if you could. Baron's getting damaged up though. Palafox late to the party. Andy, oh no, my friend.
Jeez.
Almost dies to the rage of Baron Nashor.
I mean, I'm all for forcing objectives when I'm getting bored, but with a Mountain Dragon spawning in 1 minute, that will make that substantially easier, as well as waiting on some power spikes on your Xin Zhao, the Triforce not yet completed. I can...
Ooh, Dhokla didn't make it over.
Uh-oh.
Flashes though, he's okay there.
I would say that was a bit overly ambitious by the side of OpTic Gaming. They should have just focused on controlling and setting up for this Mountain Dragon that's now spawning in 30 seconds. Then they can use that extra true damage to objectives to take the Baron down potentially or force a fight. And like I said, they're still waiting on some power spikes, so that's a little over-ambitious what they're looking for, given that they have no tank to absorb that Baron damage.
Trying something at least is nice, but does feel like despite the lead, they feel maybe a little bit lost. It's tough to know in every situation what to do, though.
Yeah, it does feel, like you said, lost might be a fair way of putting it, given that they are focusing so heavily on Baron control, Mountain Dragon spawning in just a second. Maybe Dhokla will back up and grab that one for his team himself, but he's going to be able to grab this turret with that massive advantage. He has 70 CS over his opponent.
Yeah, it seems to continue to climb here, and with that second item done, finally able to get some real split pushing done. And again, he's going to actually have Palafox move down here to the Drake. So OpTic, I think, recognizing just how strong their top laner is in the side lane. Palafox comfortably solos that Mountain Drake. Going to make these split pushing and the Baron taking even easier in the next few minutes.
Yep, going to go back and grab his blue buff as well. Dhokla after taking that turret. Shopping.
Kadir is on a mission. Running straight to Baron with the sweeper up. He's like, I know what my job is.
Yeah.
I'm the jungle. Let me smite that thing.
Yeah, it's good to know what his job is. Gonna go back and farm some Raptors as well. It's a little risky to go in for a solo mission like that and drop all your wards and try and clear some vision out. They do have good vision, but the problem is with everyone else resetting right now, your wards are going to drop. Your vision, you don't have a sweeper now to contest the enemy vision that they are placing down right now. Xpecial is coming up soon. Palafox has one as well, so they do have a fair amount of sweepers, which I like given that they're ahead. You don't really need a blue trinket on Palafox.
No, not right now at least. And probably a good time to check in actually what Kadir is doing after Warrior. Only just noticed 2 parts of that Trinity Force, but hold on just a second. Flash Force there. Dhokla does get the slow down. Blue buff goes over to the rightful owner this time, bobqin, but Andy has been on point, at least checking those timers.
And that's why I was saying, you know, you might want to wait for some power spikes for Kadir to get that Triforce. Hold on, Dhokla.
Yeah, looking for a big play. Jurassiq likely the target here.
Could also go on the bobqin if anyone presents themselves. The rest of the team not quite in position to follow up there, so good choice by Dhokla not to hop that wall.
Manifest the Alistar as well, but look at the space they've made. Again, enough to get on the Baron. Blue trinket down, but they pull up immediately. Kadir jumps under the crab. Again, has jungling that needs to be done.
Yeah, not getting as much gold as he probably would like to finish that Triforce right now. They keep forcing onto this, but they're just so squishy. It's not really an option. And with Dhokla grouped up, it's even easier for them to deal with it because it's like, hey, GP is going to be perfect in this situation.
And OpTic pacing back and forth between these lanes. Maybe just waiting on that Trinity Force for Kadir to kind of break it open. They are, again, scaling decently. Palafox doing just fine here. But Golden Guardians Academy kind of been gifted a lot more grace than you might expect here as Winter gets out from under the Let's Bounce with a stand beside me. I always have to look at the gold leads here. Again, OpTic's still ahead, which is nice, but I don't know exactly off the top of my head what it is, but I would guess that it's been about this gold lead for a number of minutes, and that's a real worry. When you're a team that's ahead and you're not able to push that pace more, especially given how far ahead Dhokla is.
I mean, it's slowly been expanding. They were at 2K, and then Dhokla grabbed the turret. Winter died in the top lane. They grabbed some more turrets for that. It's been increasing slowly over time. So you can't fault them too much because it doesn't feel like Golden Guardians is putting up the biggest fight either. But I would like to see OpTic try to force in some different ways. They keep starting the Baron, and they don't have a ton of damage right now. And they don't have anyone tanky, so there's not that much of a threat. And that's why I was saying maybe wait for your Smite and power spikes. You can give Kadir some farm in the mid lane if he's trying to get to that Triforce that he finally hit. It took a while. He's there now. He's scary.
See just how scary. Doesn't want to face check a tank and a Taliyah. Dhokla, they're going to return back down to the bot side, and given how much of the gold lead he has, as much pressure and threat as he is able to apply, especially in a side lane, if he goes down, Oh boy, is the net worth of your team just plummeting in that next fight, but down is not the option here. He's going to just get damage down onto Jenkins. Gold back down here for Dhokla. Maybe I spoke too soon. Going to try and get out of there. Hook shots away, but the snipe, not quite enough. Dhokla running out. And that's room for OpTic to try and start the Baron once again.
We'll see if they go for it. They were not quite in position to follow up on that aggression. Palafox decides it's time to go, though.
Scoops Xpecial in, who does flash out, but he gets stunned on the other end. The damage probably still enough. A nice glacial vision for Winter. Needs to get a bit more damage down. Xpecial still the ulti ready, but Kadir seals the deal.
Yeah, it was a weirdly nice thing for the team of OpTic to do. They just stopped hitting Xpecial. Palafox ran away from him. And so it almost seemed like Xpecial might have gotten out there. Kadir begrudgingly takes that kill. And now here they are on the Baron buff, continuing to bait, but they don't have great tools to engage.
Dhokla with the lifesteal though, still with the TP, can join here as Taliyah walls up to threaten the rest of OpTic. Camille also roaming over, so looking for a pick. Has the ulti, flashes on, does get the ult down, follows bobqin, and that damage is ridiculous. Dhokla gonna take one down.
Finally finds a way in there. Not able to get out by bobqin, the late flash after it had already started. And now Dhokla is just playing some distraction duty while the rest of the team is onto the Baron buff. It's going to be pretty easy for them to take. Jurassiq not really able to do much.
Yeah, Carry's going to have to be careful too. 1v2 is not out of the question, but Baron over to OpTic. The man we expected with this lead to force the action for OpTic does do so. Maybe not in the cleanest way they would have liked, but really getting things going with all that pressure and finally that kill onto the mid laner.
Yeah, Dhokla had made some attempts previously of wrapping behind the side of Golden Guardians, but he kept getting scouted out by a couple members. It finally works now that the enemy support is down. Winter is dead in base, or excuse me, not Winter, Xpecial is dead in base, and that allows Dhokla that little gap in vision to find a way on the back side of the team. He's able to get that kill. Zone the rest of the team away. They get their Baron buff. Now it should be fairly easy to execute a 4-1 from this position. Dhokla is unduelable and should be able to clean this game up.
Yep, got a Starix now finished, so 3 items done. Still has a stopwatch as well. For presumably a GA, but we'll give him a bit more playmaking potential. Options like, I remember what just happened 30 seconds ago. I am not interested at all in repeating that adventure.
Dhokla giving his enemy team some respect. Not quite sure where the members were. They were collapsing on the top lane. No vision down the bot side yet, so playing it very smart, not wanting to overextend until the enemy team show in other positions. And now OpTic is starting to force down all 3 lanes.
Yep. And while we kind of watch this siege unfold as the lanes do get pushed through, I just want to note that Kadir, that's a BF sword. That's probably a Guardian Angel, but this man is showing a lot of his colors here as Andy barely gets out from that. Good flash after the shift to get himself to safety, but I like the attempt from Golden Guardians, but Jenkins getting locked up by the 2 carries. Palafox slays the Gangplank.
Yep, Golden Guardians tried to force down the bot side. OpTic punished with the top lane play, and Golden Guardians are getting pulled apart now. The top lane turret drops, the inhib turret soon to follow.
Yeah, it does not take long for Camille to knock these down, but Palafox also additional help to try and get the sieges happening. And Dhokla knows what to do, gonna get the wave pushing in mid lane. They're gonna try and take everything here.
On Golden Guardians to find a way to stop this. They decide to go down the bot lane. Kadir.
Juicy ulti onto the Zac there.
Yeah, a little scary there. Had to keep him away. Almost got knocked in by the Taliyah W, but flashes out just in time. And maybe they might only get 1 turret.
Xpecial just eats a ton of damage. Does not have his ultimate, so he's low. Andy able to clean up that kill. Mid inhib turret's gonna break as well. Inhib's gonna fall. They already took the top side. Big Baron power play here for OpTic.
Yeah, so they're not going to leave the base just yet. Xpecial dead once again. They're going to go down to the bot lane. 1 minute left on the Baron buff and a half HP turret standing. It does feel like OpTic are in a position that they could grab that inhibitor as well.
Yeah, again, I think it's just time to try and take it all. Winning on this push, not that easy given that the death timers aren't super long, but do the safe thing. Use your Baron buff to maximum effect.
Yep,
take all 3 inhibs.
Triple inhib down. You have the Baron buff recalls, get a nice reset off, spend all that money. Everyone should be sitting on fat stacks, buy some items, and run it down mid lane.
Everyone's favorite. As we'll watch this one again. Dhokla just abusing Jenkins in the 1v1.
Yep, doesn't need to land any abilities. It's fine. Also, Palafox showing up, making sure that they can get this kill. Palafox holds his ult, knowing that they'll get the kill anyways. And there you go. Free, easy kill.
Mountain Drake also down, so the last few structures remaining for Golden Guardians Academy will die very quickly.
Oh yeah, as if Azir Ezreal didn't already destroy turrets, Camille the same way. Give him 20% bonus true damage.
That's a lot. And Guardian Angel done for Dhokla. He's got that Warden's Mail as well. Oh, that's...
Oh, that's...
All right, you know what? You deserve it, Andy. You don't calculate the damage. You don't get the red buff.
Or is it Dhokla's fault for not dropping it low enough?
That'd be Dhokla's fault.
I would say it's Andy's fault. He should have looked at that, seen its HP, seen his ult damage, been like, that's not enough, Dhokla, drop it more.
Yeah, exactly. He's the snipe lord. He already stole a blue buff this game.
Why would you trust your teammate?
Probably because he plays with each other every single week, but I don't know.
Now you know Dhokla's bad at math.
Hey, man, I can relate to that.
Actually, Dhokla doesn't know how much damage Andy's ult's going to do.
That's
It's Andy's
true.
fault. I decided officially it's Andy's fault.
He's also, so he's the one bad at math.
Blame game Andy, you should have hit that red buff.
All right, I'm expecting that coming up next week. As for some simpler maths, Dhokla has over 100 CS on his 1v1 matchup, but there's also over 10,000 gold up for OpTic. They are just so far ahead as they look to close the trap, seal this game, and finish this week with a win.
Yep, Dhokla doesn't care about taking damage, walks under the turret, gets hit by a bunch of stuff.
All right, Zach in the blobs too. He's kind of charged in looking for a big old flank, but not going to grab it. Dhokla low GA, not popped yet though. Now going to finally get resurrected, but Kadir on a killing spree. Traps the Caitlyn under everybody else. Palafox is doing so much damage in the fountain. And the Nexus is exposed. That's 4 dead. Not even going to clear the last one. They are going to go. Never mind. Dive straight forward. He had it the whole time. Gets the stopwatch, but a game's a game. OpTic take the final win of this week.
Oh, no fun by bobqin there, staying alive under the turret, but OpTic still grabbed the victory off the back of some very impressive play by Dhokla.
By the turret, you mean the fountain laser.
Fountain, turret.
Which probably shouldn't be dove all that often against someone with an active stopwatch. Yeah. Still, worked out in the end. Someone's KDA was going to get patted. Instead, dreams were shattered right on the brink of victory. Thankfully for them, Nexus still fell over, so we'll call it a technical win.
Yeah, the game still very secure by OpTic, and it was a pretty good team game, all things around. Zhao didn't feel like the most impactful pick. I would have liked to see a little bit more out of it. I'm left pretty unimpressed by that, but there were a lot of jungle bans, so I understand he ends up in that position. Kha'Zix, I believe, was up, and based off what I saw, I would take the Kha'Zix again, but hey, it's easy to win when your enemy is kind of falling behind in their lanes, just generally speaking. Dhokla had a great game versus the GP. Palafox had a good game on his Azir, and then the bot lane did receive a fair amount of pressure, but they got counterpicked and are up against the Taliyah, so all things considered, not too bad.
Yeah, I think I like overall we saw there for OpTic, again, sometimes you don't need everyone to fire, and I think Kadir, not a bad game necessarily, just a low-impact game certainly for him. I think Palafox definitely worth highlighting. We've seen up and down, but I think mostly up from him. Another player that's kind of come from the scouting grounds of last year and maybe trying to compete with the Blazoli for best scouting grounds mid laner in the league. And I mean, we saw him destroy Azir yesterday. Nice to see him on, not the reverse matchup exactly, but that champion doing the same in his 1v1.
Yeah, definitely one of the big success stories early on in scouting grounds and academy here. It's unfortunate that his main roster team has such a strong mid laner. It's going to be hard to move up over Power of Evil, but hopefully he's attracting some other people who could be looking for a mid laner should they need import slots at other positions. He's kind of establishing himself as one of the premier people to look at. I
think so as well. And for OpTic, I mean, what's the ceiling in Academy? Obviously, been struggling a bit more. Similar to, I guess, the main team who has certainly been having some woes, but these are the kind of games where you can think, okay, this team's actually looking relatively together. I do worry about the elongated mid game. That's definitely something you don't want to be playing if you're a team that's looking to, get a lead and then close strong and really demonstrate how good you are. But I think there's a lot of good things, with the exception of Zhao, who, again, I get where he got picked down to.
Yeah, it was making the best of a bad situation. You kind of gave yourself up to grab those other picks. They grabbed the Azir, they grabbed the Ezreal early, and then they grabbed the Camille as well. All the priority in the draft kind of going to the laners there. And then from that position, it's like, well, I just got 4 jungle bans thrown at me, so I'll take this thing.
I think actually a great note that I almost forgot. That draft was very odd. Like we haven't seen something look like that for a while. Again, there's no one person to pin that on, whether it's a coach. All 6 players, or the 5 players and the coach, are involved in that discussion process. Likely have, again, other people also doing analyst work for them. So whatever happened did not work out well, because those lanes just ended up being pretty atrocious.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where I think OpTic really just played the draft phase better with their last couple bans, forcing an awkward situation.
Well, to hear more about that victory, I'd like to welcome Dhokla to the broadcast via Skype. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Coming off that win and finally a 2 a week.
Yeah, congrats on that. And a big part of that has been you, and especially with a lot of the recent wins, they've been coming off your back. You had a great GP performance last week. This time around, destroying the GP with Camille. So what's your mindset as a player? You seem to be very carry focused. Is this something that like the team wants you to do, or is this your preferred style?
It's definitely my preferred style, and my team plays around me pretty well, so I'm able to do that. So, yeah.
As far as this particular matchup goes, obviously, there's probably a bevy of counter picks you could have played. Was this the most confident pick you wanted to take, or maybe the most meta pick? Why Camille into Gangplank? Because I feel like you can play just about any counter pick.
Yeah, I'm not too well versed on the Lucian, but I think Camille's the most meta. It's the most meta matchup, so I decided to take that instead of other things, and I'm pretty confident in my Camille as well.
It felt like your team had a pretty good draft phase where you banned the Varus out and made it so you could take the Ezreal without the counter pick, and then they banned Ryze Zoe so you get Azir as well. Did it feel like kind of you guys were going to win this game as long as everything was going even?
Yeah, as long as we followed our plan going into the draft, I think we had a pretty solid draft. Got exactly what we wanted. Knew what they were going to pick as well. So for the most part, I think draft went exactly what we wanted. And as long as we, set out our plan, we could win.
I think in general,
maybe not that Xin Zhao.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
Sorry about that. What? I don't remember anything about that in that last game. I'm curious. So, as far as preparation goes, obviously you guys have your own stuff, but is this something where you work closely with your main team, OpTic, in the LCS, to kind of strategize or even practice? Like, how does that relationship work, and maybe relating to the preparation for even this week?
So currently I'm in LA right now. I've been called up for the main team as a 6-man roster. So I've been having scrims alongside with them, just practicing. So I feel like I've really grown, playing against better top laners in the LCS. So yeah, just bringing that knowledge and experience back to Academy really helps me.
And good.
Oh, I was going to say, that sounds really exciting. I know a lot of teams talk about how much information is shared, like C9 scrims, like a day with their Academy roster and stuff like that. Do you guys, as the Academy team, ever scrim the main roster?
From time to time, yes, we do, but it's not like priority for us. But when they're available, yeah, we always like to scrim them.
And I guess my final question for you is, as far as, you've had opportunity to have some scrims with the main team, but you have been performing also quite well in Academy. As far as Academy goes and what you're looking to do as a player, what are your goals here playing in Academy? What would you like to do?
So when I joined Academy, like I set out within a year, I wanted to, prove myself that I could compete in LCS, and right now I have the chance to do that. So that's what Academy means to me. It's just a stepping stone to prove myself as a player.
Well, certainly on the way. Congratulations on the win today, and good luck on the weekend, potentially. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pastry. Thank you, Mark.
Yep, no worries. Good night to Dhokla, as that was a fun one.
Yeah.
I like that he called out the Xinjiao. That was important to me.
Yeah, I was like, the draft looked great. And that one little thing at the end.
All right, well, drafts aside, let's take a look at the standings after Week 6 with TLA's victory over FlyQuest. We once again have a 3-way tie for first. And a few wins behind them, we have TSM, EchoFox, and OpTic all tied for 4th. And there's still 3 weeks left of regular season play. But as of now, we have a close race for playoffs, Mark.
Yeah, it's going to be really crazy considering, 2 of those teams are going to be very happy at the top, but one of them will have to play the other 9-3 team in the first round of the playoffs. Going to be a tight battle to get the #1 position so you can avoid the other 9-3 teams.
Certainly do want to get out of there with Week 6 on the book, so the Academy broadcast is at an end, but that means NALCS is right around the corner. Tomorrow will feature the same matchups you just saw. What are you looking at tomorrow, Mark?
I'm definitely looking at TSM versus EchoFox. On paper, that should be a great matchup for EchoFox. They've been having a fantastic split. But the last time they played, TSM pushed them pretty hard, and it required an epic comeback, a lot of it off Dardoch Zach. So I want to see, now that both teams have played more, EchoFox is still trending upwards. TSM has been up and down all along, and it feels like kind of the perfect game for TSM to re-grab their claim of the TSM.
I think the prophecy, though, has certainly linked the teams closer together, and I believe TSM won this week, so stay tuned for that one. But, of course, you don't have to wait until tomorrow for more league, because the EU rebroadcast starts right after we say goodbye. Catch the matches from this morning before tomorrow morning's live broadcast starting at 8 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central European. And before we sign off for the night, we also want to call attention to Season 3 of City Champs. Our friends over at Super League Gaming run a nationwide tournament for players of all skill levels, where you can meet other league players from your city and play live on the big screen. So whether you're a Diamond Doer or still working on the Silver promos, check out superleague.com for more details and how you can represent your city and play like a pro. Now, for myself, Mark, and the entire Academy crew, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Does not have his flash for a little while longer. That's unfortunate. As the stasis from Xpecial should protect him from a counter kill. Winter looking for it, but the headbutt's going to deny it. Here comes Taliyah riding it onto the wall. Winter with the ultimate's not enough to save him.
Palafox decides it's time to go, though.
Scoops Xpecial in, who does flash up, but he gets stunned on the other end. The damage probably still enough. A nice glacial vision for Winter. Needs to get a bit more damage down. Xpecial still the ulti ready, but Kadir seals the deal. GA not popped yet, though. Now going to finally get resurrected, but Kadir on a killing spree. Traps the Caitlyn under everybody else. Palafox is doing so much damage in the fountain. And the Nexus is exposed. That's 4 dead. Not even going to clear the last one. They are going to go. Never mind. Dive straight forward. He had it the whole time.